which is all piercings and tattoos and smoking and drinking and swearing and casual sex with strangers. I really like her.
She said, just to let you know, the girls won't be coming over at the weekend. I said, what do you mean the girls won't be coming over at the weekend? It's my weekend to have the girls. Why aren't the girls coming over at the weekend, Janine? She said, we're going away. I said, going away? Where are you going? She said, we're going to Euro Disney. I said, Euro Disney? She said, yeah, Euro Disney, France. I said, I know where Euro Disney is, Janine. I'm an intercontinental long wheelbase white van driver. She goes, oh yeah, I forgot. Next thing I know, I'm staring down at 2 garlic dew balls and have a glass of house red in one hand. I said to Colin, this isn't about dinner, is it? He said, no. But in a manner of speaking, it is. It's half price on Wednesdays at Pizza Express.
So, there I was in house group, working out what to do with the £17.21 we'd raised on the fair trade stand at the Vicarage Tea Party. When he came in, he was wearing brown corduroys, a checked shirt, and moccasins. He was magnificent.
I couldn't help hearing, but did you say you were a pilot? I went, oh. Yeah, EasyJet.
I said, you're not a homosexual, Lawrence. You're just high-spirited. Why? Why?
All the way have to go and see Grandad, Mum. He smells of piss. And you know, he lives in this sort of like warehouse with dead people. It's crap.
Hi, my name's Graham Whaler, international life coach and motivational speaker, helping people to break through the barriers that are holding them back.
My mate Bob, he got distracted. He saw a paper bag, started chasing after it. We never saw him again. Can you smell something?
A very small screen. I don't think I could see that. Certainly not for an entire episode of Emmerdale Farm. These are the outtakes. We'll get the outtakes done first. Cheers. Hi. My name's Tim Fifield, but you can call me Tim.
Timothy.
Timothy. Hello.
Hello.
When do we start kissing?
Right, as you can see, I'm here with Tim Fifield, and Tim has a play on at the Horth at the moment, and it's called Not What We Expected. There you go, can you see that? It's a brilliant, brilliant rendition of Tim doing a one-man show, pretty much, isn't it, Tim?
I am a man, yes, and it is a show, so therefore it's a one-man show.
We went to see you last night, and I have to say, I thought it was brilliant. It was really good. Where did you get these ideas from, Tim?
Well, these ideas have been sort of formulating for quite some time. I mean, they're all based on characters that I've known or I've observed in my life. Some of them are kind of caricatures, but all of the people that you see in the show are based on something that I've either observed or experienced myself.
You've been in theatre for some time now, haven't you? You've
Yes,
pretty much done every sort of theatre there is, as far as I'm aware. Tell us a little bit about your past and what led you to doing this particular play.
Well, my love of theatre, I suppose, started when I was at school. I went to Thomas Bennett's School in Crawley, and we had a drama teacher there called John Harris Rees, and I always like a man who's got a hyphen in his name, so I was very taken to him, and he kind of encouraged me to get on stage, and we did a lot of stuff like The Crucible and Twelfth Night and that sort of thing, and that sort of whetted my appetite for theatre. And I really started doing it, I suppose, at the beginning, because I was just painfully shy when I was at school, and it was a way of overcoming my shyness. And then sort of through my adult life, I've been in pretty much every type of theatre, American theatre, loads of Shakespeare, etc. But I've always been very, very interested in writing. And so in 1998, I put my first show on at the Hall Theatre, naughtily called Sperm. Don't ask. And that was really successful, and then I sort of continued writing bits and pieces, small sketches, other plays. I had a play called Bed and Breakfast put on a couple of years ago, a play called We All Stood Together. I've written a musical that went on the main stage in Crawley in 2000, and kind of been involved with that ever since then, really. The prime theatre group down at Crawley in the Horth is called Pitchy Breath, and I'm a member of that group, and we are charged with the responsibility of putting on at least 2 plays a year, one of which champions new writers. And because I'm still quite new, yes, I know I'm 47, but I'm still quite new, I'm included in that, and hence the play that's just come out.
What's your best genre of theatre?
I love comedy, but I like comedy with a twist. It has to contain some dramatic elements, and invariably when I write plays, I use humour to communicate the core message, and then I sort of turn the thumbscrews with some heavy drama, usually in the second half of the play. Don't want to give too much away, so that it kind of resolves the play. But I like not necessarily shocking people, but changing people's perceptions of things. Like, for example, in this play, Not What We Expected, there's a disabled character who's got cerebral palsy, and he can't actually speak. So Elvis Presley, and the reason why I wanted to do that was because I've got people into a certain state in the play from an audience point of view, and it's just about doing things that they wouldn't expect to see. So you fall into a completely different character, and then you get a story off the back of it. And dramatically, although it's full of humour, it's kind of a bit shocking, and it takes people into a different place. So there we are.
They have poignant points to them, don't they, in a sense? They're very... I found... We went to see last night. Brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't quite what I expected, as I said on CHT.tv this morning, but then I wasn't actually going in and expecting anything in particular. Probably more comedy, I suppose, knowing you myself personally. But I did find it very... I found it quite hard-hitting, but in a very good way, in quite an emotional roller coaster sense of being hard hitting and very impactful on me particularly. What do you find is the best way to impact an audience? Is it comedy? Is it serious? Is it song? What's the best for you?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, it kind of depends on the subject matter, but invariably, as a sort of modern playwright, I try to give the audience as much as I can. You know, people tend to get messages in different ways. You know, some people get them through the visual media, others auditory. A lot of people, it's all about emotion and what the feel of it is. So my technique is usually to try and get messages over to the audience which combine all of those elements. So, for example, in this play, we're using music, we're using lighting, we're using sort of sequences on a screen and that sort of thing, just to give people different things and different ways of getting that information, and in that way it can be resonant for everybody, not just people who love great visuals or like really good wordplay or what have you. I mean, essentially I'm a generalist type of playwright. I don't sort of occupy any specific highbrow theatre ideals. My stuff is about sort of domestic, the way that we live our lives today type drama, comedy drama, rather than anything a bit, you know, too hard.
Yeah. Well, I think your experiences from what you've told me in what you've done in your theatrical time really came together last night in every single character. Now let's talk about your play, Not What We Expected. When did you write this play?
Well, if truth be told, I'm still writing it, because the thing about this play is that it's not written in a traditional sit-down, bash on the typewriter type writing. It's a collection of stories. And this might seem very, very weird, but the play isn't actually written down. It's all in my head. I mean, I know I've got notes and so on and so forth, but essentially the way that I've created this play is essentially to become characters and begin to tell stories. And when those stories become really resonant and they're really powerfully aligned with the character, then I'll just note them down. So the entire play is quite organic. You know, if you came to see the play as you did last night on Monday the 28th, if you came tonight, which you could do, there's still one ticket left, then you would probably see a different type of show. The core material would be exactly the same, but there will be little tiny bits and pieces that I'll use mood and maybe the audience reaction just to change it. So, to answer your question, it's been brewing in my mind and has been written probably over the last 2-3 years. There are elements of other stuff that I've done, that I've brought in, characters from other plays or monologues that I've produced, which feature in this collection of characters, but loads of other new stuff as well. And a lot of the characters that people have seen in monologues, their stories have been extended, and we get a sort of resolution to their lives, etc. So that's a long-winded answer. No. Probably about 3 years, but it's an ongoing process, and that's why it's so exciting to do. It really is genuinely exciting to do. I mean, I'm infused with nerves beforehand, not for the sort of traditional reasons, but more of, well, what's going to happen? Yeah. Because it's as much as for the audience that it's not what we expected, it's not what I expect either, which keeps it fresh and alive. Yeah. And you wouldn't see that in Shakespeare.
So you're improvising on pretty much life experiences and situations that you've encountered yourself.
Absolutely.
Personally, I really liked, I've got to just look him up now, who was the gentleman? Reg. Is it Reg?
The old man.
I loved your improvisation of Reg. Yes. He was brilliant. Yeah. You know, completely out there, but quite realistic, really, in a sense. That could actually be quite realistic, couldn't it? Well, have you met Reg?
Well, actually, it's very interesting you should say that, because I'm 47, and as a 47-year-old man, you're sort of, I suppose, you can look back as much as you can look forward. So you've got, you've got connections with young people, but you're also aware of older people more, and you're aware that you're going to become old as well. And in my social circle, I do meet quite a lot of old people. And it's often very, very tempting to dismiss old people, that they're not relevant, or what they've got to say is not as important as what we've got to say. But actually, the wisdom and the stories and the experiences of older people are just amazing. And we kind of think that these people exist in a prior age, but actually they're as contemporary as we are, but they're just seeing it through a different lens. And the excitement of talking to an older person and hearing young ideas come out of them, unless you sit down and listen, you won't hear that. And so I've spent quite a lot of time with older people getting to know what their ambitions are, because again, we think that the older people, they're all done, they're finished, but there are so many people in their 60s, 70s, maybe even their 80s that have still got ambition, and that is what is reflected in Reg's character. He's still, despite the fact that he's been told he's not got long to live, he's still got stuff to do, and I find that brilliant, and it's a lesson for all of us.
Yeah, no, I loved Reg. Now, the way you did the play was very interesting. I don't get to go to the theatre an awful lot. I wish I had more time, but I don't. But I really liked the way you did it as like a part one, and then a part two, which sort of made things a little bit more clearer. And then, of course, like you say, you used your visuals afterwards as well, which sort of concluded it all for everybody. I liked the fact that you pretty much dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and I went away feeling quite happy,
Yeah.
quite content. I mean, it was weird because halfway through I sort of felt a little bit, should I have been laughing at that, or should I have taken that seriously? And it was very thought-provoking, and I think that's what theatre is all about. And then the second half, things started to become a little bit more clear, and I did manage to, crack a joke, a laugh or two, because I realised that putting the stories together of all the individual characters that you play, the ones that then got to the end and I was able to laugh at was a respectful laugh with them, if you know what I mean. So it was like going along their journey and experiencing their lows and their highs, and then at the end being able to go, well, yeah, they're all right now. That's really good. And then of course your visual at the end I thought was just ingenious. I very much look forward to seeing your next performance.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to be kept in touch about what you're doing and when you're doing it, and your group that you told us about as well, because obviously I know Gemma as well. Lovely lady, does a lot of work with the kids up at Dorman's there with the Crawley Youth Theatre. Very, very proactive in the theatre side of things. And again, I was talking to Henry Smith on Saturday night, the MP of Crawley, regarding the Wharf and what a fantastic entity it really is in our town. Have you got any thoughts on the Wharf for us?
Absolutely. The Hall Theatre, if anybody is out there that has never been to the Hall Theatre, you are missing a trick. Because not only are you seeing top flight entertainment coming down from London, touring theatre companies and so on and so forth, but you also gain access to a huge amount of what would be called amateur or non-professional theatre. Often in the setting of the Hall, which is a professional theatre, you're getting some top-notch shows at a fraction of the cost of travelling up to London or going down to Brighton. So I'm passionate about the Hall as a resource, and also for the people of Crawley to make sure that they use it in its wider context. There's the restaurant facilities, there's a bar facilities and that sort of thing. They put on entertainments right the way through the weekend in the summer.
They've got meeting rooms.
Yeah, fantastic meeting rooms, lovely facilities. So it's an amazing place. So my sort of thing for Crawley people is to say, look, have a look through the programme, go on the website, horse.co.uk, find out what's going on and try it, because you'll be surprised that sometimes it can be even better than EastEnders.
That is a fact. Or you can go onto www.crawleyhappytimes.co.uk, where we show all the listings of the Horse on our website as well. But I very much now. I believe you had about 9 tickets left for tonight. I'm hoping that us pushing that a little bit for you today may have sold them out. I hope
so. Yeah, it'd be lovely.
And if not, maybe people can ring up and see if you've got any tickets left for the last performance, which is going to be tomorrow night. Is that right?
The 30th.
Which will be today by the time we get this up, sadly. But yes, I'll get this up to you tomorrow morning.
Perfect. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Lovely to see you. Take care. Let's have a kiss. I'm theatre love, mate. We need to kiss.